Hey everyone, before we begin today's video, a friendly reminder to like and subscribe to the channel and to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a single upload from me. I'm also over on Twitch, so consider following or subscribing at twitch.com/IamSlimYGO. If you want to support me in the channel, you can do so by using my TCG Player affiliate link when you shop for cards, as it's no cost to you. If you're looking for awesome custom play mats and sleeves, check out Your Playmat and use my affiliate link when you shop and it will save you 10% on checkout. In addition, if you want the best gaming chairs and gaming tables on the market, visit Ewin Gaming and use the code SLIM for 20% off and begin gaming in style. Lastly, if you really want to support the channel, consider joining my Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month, you can support me and what I do here. All these links will be in the description below. With all that being said, let's get to today's video. What's going on, you guys? Slim here with my boy Cameron, back on the channel, fresh off a top 32 at this weekend's extravaganza. And what deck did you play this time, man?
I played MEKK-KNIGHT ORCUST again.
Your signature deck. Awesome, man. It's awesome to see you have success with the deck. First and foremost, I gotta ask, why this deck? Why do you keep coming back to ORCUST? It's like your bread and butter, man, I swear.
Yeah, so start of 2020, I was on fire with Altergeist, and when Eldritch came out, I switched to Eldritch, and the common thread between the two decks was that I kept on getting blown out by the power spells like Lightning Storm and Harpies. So I picked up ORCUST because Galatea protects your back row, and so does Dingirsu.
Yeah, definitely awesome. And yeah, man, you've just been on a tirade with this deck. You guys already know. You've been on the channel multiple times. You topped the YCS, and you're just gonna keep going. So you're the main reason why Harp is staying on the list. So yeah, definitely. But before we get into your list, do you have any shout outs?
Yeah, shout outs to anyone's game. We're just a group of friends in the Inland Empire trying to make the community more knowledgeable of the game. We primarily base ourselves on YBM. Shouts to YBM also. They let us play here in their little computer lounge. We have like 12 computers. If you ever need to do a remote duel thing, you can play here as long as it's OTS. And then shout outs to Mike. He gave me these cool sleeves. These cool sleeves right here. I didn't use them in the tournament because I don't know if you're allowed to use these sleeves, but they look really cool. I think more companies are going to come out with border sleeves. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. All right, man. Well, let's show the world what you did again. Like I said, you're setting the wave for the deck, so I'm super excited to see it. Let's just get into it.
All right. So we have the monsters. So we have 3 Girsu. Girsu's the heart and soul of the deck. The deck revolves only on this card. So the card turns into anything in your extra deck here, based off of just this card. So it turns into Phoenix, it turns into Zeus, it turns into Galatea, it turns into Ding, it turns into, in the follow-up turns, it turns into Boral Sword and Access Code. It just does everything by itself. Follow-up, we have the cards to search it. We have the purple and the blue. Purple is like MVP. It puts down so much pressure. To dodge Veiler, I'll just go into battle phase, attack whatever's on board to trade, and then I'll tag them out in the battle phase, and they can't Veiler it there. And then I'll go into the Girsu plays, and if the Girsu plays fail, it's fine, because you still have the Girsu. Girsu can still activate later turns. We have blue to attract a lot of attention, to bait hand traps. They're afraid of his Pot of Greed effect, so you just get 2 cards from your deck that are just straight gas. It's basically just a huge magnet for interaction. And if they don't stop it, you're definitely winning. For the rest of the core monsters of the deck, we just run the 3 bricks. You'll see later why we play some of the extra deck monsters, because some of them just cater to discarding these cards. But you need them. It's like playing your green package. You need to play these cards just to make sure your Orcus plays. If you wanted to play just the MEKK-KNIGHTs, you could just play the other ones, the other World Legacy cards. They're probably better suited for a deck just MEKK-KNIGHTs. For hand traps, we have the 3 Ash and the 3 Imperm. We dropped Veiler from previous lists because I was afraid of Crossout this tournament. Crossout was just a fresh release, and I felt that everyone was going to try to make their list to like beat hand traps. So I was really afraid, but I felt that Imperm and Ash were just too good not to play, even though Imperm was like a very targeted card by Crossout. The only time I got Crossouted was on Ash versus Dinos, when I tried to Ash the Misk. So they had to cross out there, but I still broke their board due to the power spells I run in the deck. We run 3 Prosperity, and then 3 World Legacy Memory. These are just more cards to see Girsu. Prosperity is like a staple for sure, because it becomes any card in your side, it becomes any card in your deck, it becomes any perfect card you need at the moment, and it's just insane for a deck that how I designed my deck. And then World Legacy Memory, shoutouts to Leo. He really wants me to drop this card. A lot of people don't want this card just because it doesn't let you pop off. But you have to understand that I built the deck for value. I didn't build the deck for tempo. I built it definitely for value. This card says summon purple from deck, activate the effect. Purple will come back later if it doesn't get interrupted. And you get to normal summon Girsu and send Nightmare. And that's it. But you also set all your back row. So if they can't deal with the back row, they're gonna have to deal with all the pressure that that this card just provided, because you have the effect of purple to search blue next turn because he's gonna come back. You have the effect of Girsu that's on board to summon more tokens to make blue optimal, and then you have the Girsu in hand that you searched off the blue, and the purple that you got off the blue also to extend into the Boral Sword and Access Code plays, which is just insane for the follow-up play. And then for the final 2 consistently spells, we run Foolish Burial and Orchestrated Return. I was thinking of running Monster Reborn. I think it's a good card. It's just not the format, because I can't always guarantee that my Girsu will die to Gamma. But if Girsu does die to Gamma, it lets me recover from Gamma. And then Orchestrated Return is just like when you do your recovery play and you draw 2 cards, it's basically just drawing into 2 traps or 2 cards to break their board, and that's like critical. This overperformed this weekend because I bricked a lot this weekend just drawing the bricks, and then this just helps you get out of those bad situations. Moving on to the counter spells, like the spells to break boards, we run 3 Forbidden Chalice. It's versatile. It acts as a trap. So many Tri-Brigade cards negated with this card. I negated so many Tri-Brigade cards. It also beats hidden bosses because this card's like super accurate, right? You have the hidden bosses like the Schism bosses, where they summon the Construct and they summon the Winda. This negates those. This negates the most important Omen. The Omen's like really scary in some scenarios, but I can recover from those if I just like Chalice that monster, and then their whole play is kind of dead there. But they still get the search, but I'm gonna set up the counter trap and they're not resolving their later effects. And then we ran the Dark Ruler no more. This is the one card I would cut from the deck. I thought that it was gonna be wide boards, like really wide boards. I was really scared of that. Wide boards, and they're gonna have cross out to stop any combo that you may have. So I played Dark Ruler no more because I was afraid of the combo. It only came up once when I was against ironically like invoked player who summoned Chaos Hunter on me when I summoned my purple. And then he had a Mecha and a Chaos Hunter. That's a pretty hard board, but I set this card to make the column for my purple. So when he set it up, I just flipped the Dark Ruler no more, and then all of a sudden his board was broken wide open. For the main cards that I play in the deck, I always side these cards out when they make me go second. But it's the traps. So we have the 3 Crackdown, we have the 3 Torrential, we have the 3 Crackdown. Torrential always performs really well. You can protect your own cards with Dingirsu and they lose all their monsters. And then Crackdown performs really well in the Drytron matchup rather than the Solemn Warning, which I was playing to stop the Revolt. I felt that my matchup with Tri-Brigade was already adequate, so the Crackdown was there to interrupt their ritual spell. So you'd like steal their XYZ monster, and then they just neg a bunch of cards. Then we have the 3 Strike and the Crescendo. These cards are always really good. Sometimes if I'm siding light, I'll just take out these normal traps and just keep in all the counter traps, because the counter traps alone, they're good at going first or second. Crescendo, like if you resolve Crescendo, you should be winning that duel, because the amount of advantage Crescendo gives you, because you'll do it when they invest 2 or 3 cards in one play and you Crescendo it, they should be losing, because you get such a tempo swing and you get such a value swing off of it that like you should just be winning if you resolve the Crescendo. Moving on to the extra deck, we have the 3 Galatea, the 2 Dingirsu and the Link Kubo. So this is for the bread and butter starter play. This is what gets everything going, where you normal summon the Dingirsu and you end on Galatea, and then they have a token, and then you have the Nightmare here. That's like the bread and butter play you want to do for every single first turn. And then you have the options for the Dingirsu. Dingirsu, if I'm going second, I'll summon the Galatea, and if they don't respond to the summon of Galatea, I'll just summon the Dingirsu, and then they have to deal with the Dingirsu, the effect descend, and then I'll attack. And then if they don't stop the attack, I go into Zeus and I clear their board. Dingirsu just like makes everything just like work for you in terms of value. And then I have the Link Rebo, it's for the combo. You just have to have it because you can only make Galatea with two effect monsters. One being Orcust. For the prosperity targets, we have these 3 cards. You have the Morningstar, you have the Lib, you have the Barricade Board Blocker. You need so depending on what's in your hand, you choose to keep whichever one. So if you start off with Memory in your hand, you keep the Lib, because then Lib is live in the later turns to get back into your engine and interrupt their plays. And then if you have Wand in your hand, you keep the Morningstar, because then the Morningstar can discard it and get you into your engine eventually, because you'll get your memory, because both of these get memory. And then for the final card, we have Barricade Board Blocker. I don't play the field spell because I don't think the field spell does anything, because we don't have Harp. So I play Barricade Board Blocker solely just to discard Nightmare or Symbol in my hand, because many times I'll just like have Girsu, they'll Ash it, and then I'll have one of the 2 bricks in my hand, and I'll discard it, and then I do the full combo anyway. Then we have the three interactive cards. We have the Nightmares and then the IP. You keep this is also part of the Prosperity Sending, unless you're against Tri-Brigade or cards that do ignitions. You do it for this combo right here. And then Phoenix is just for spot removal for any floodgates that may occur in those matchups. Then we have the power cards. So if your opponent didn't break your board and you've resolved the second memory, this is just straight up game. They don't put up much resistance if with their back row and their hand traps. The Boral Sword is usually just enough. The access codes for the bigger problems, the bigger problem decks, who set up like a bunch of lingering cards on board, this will just clear the board, make it clean, get rid of the Salamangreat Field spell, get rid of anything that might be problems. And then we have the Zeus. This card overperforms every single time I play it. They don't expect it. They're like, this is an Orcust deck. They're not gonna go into a light monster. How would they go into a light monster? But if you never activate anything with Girsu off the grave, this just becomes the board clear, and then you banish your Nightmare, you banish your Wand, summon the Nightmare, and then this becomes Galatea and the counter trap. So you go from an offense-defense strategy, and then they just lose too much in advantage. Finally, we have the side deck. So we have the 3 evenly match and the 2 Cosmic Cyclone and the Feather Duster. So these cards are just meant to break boards, break back row boards, break monster boards. Just overall, just get them on the back foot so you can establish your value plays. If they're worried about these cards, they're going to be extremely worried about the monsters that follow it up. Because when you start off with your deck, you're using your monsters to make the back row live. But when you're siding out, you're using the spells and traps to make the monsters live. Then we have the 3 Gamma Seal. This overall is just like a staple, I think, in MEKK-KNIGHT decks in general. You tribute their problem monster, you put it in front of their back row or one of your back row, and then you set up your MEKK-KNIGHT column to go off. Then we have the cards to hate on Drytron, because Drytron's a very particular matchup. The way I designed the deck was, I designed the deck to beat VW and to beat Tri-Brigade. And then when I side out to beat just Drytron, because Drytron needs such a particular line of play to beat them in the initial plays, because once it gets out of hand with them, you're not coming back from the matchup. So these cards ensure that I get my turn versus Drytron. And when I get my turn versus Drytron, I set up 2 or 3 more negates that they have to deal with, and if they haven't gotten their first cycle, there's no way they're coming back from that game unless bar Dragoons.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's the deck.
Yeah, man, it looks awesome. You know, you did your thing once again. You know, we'll have your tournament report as well down in the description and the pinned comment. So it's awesome. You know, make it top 32 with your signature deck. Like I said, you're the reason why Harp is still banned. It probably will stay banned. And yeah, no, I'm excited to see what you continue to do with this deck, because every time we feature it, there's always something new I notice, whether on how you change it in the main deck or the side or whatever. So really excited to see what you do, because it is something unique, I know, compared to the rest of the meta. And I know you've talked about it before, but hopefully more people will get on this deck, because I definitely see the potential in it. And I think that, you know, the more representation that it gets, I think the better it'll be, and the more like crazy shenanigans and stuff you guys can come up with in the format. So yeah, no, awesome, man. Congratulations on the top 32, and thank you for the deck profile.
Thank you.
Thank you all for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and a special thanks to all my patrons. It's because of you, after all these years, I'm still able to make this type of content. Hopefully you guys will check out some of the videos that are suggested here for you, and just remember, you guys, it's not just a game, it's a lifestyle. Thanks for watching.